It's the live show, the big show, and week 8. Are you kidding me? Week 8 in the NFL. That means we got to get to it, and we got to get to our intro first.
You got a team, here's a word of the wise. You want to dominate your league? Go to football, guys.
Football. I'm living in a fantasy. Football. Got everybody mad at me. Football. Cause every game I had to win. Football. I gotta be a champion. Football. I'm living in a fantasy.
That's right. It is upgrades, downgrades, and the waiver wire report available at footballguys.com and written by one Sigmund Bloom. And at the quarterback position, young guy, old guy. Although they say Unk only takes you to 27. You can be an Unk at 27. But Joe Flacco is here. Of course, we're talking about Unks, 15 to 30% for him. And yes, Jackson Dart coming through in a big way. The young guy at 25+%.
Yeah, and again, I mean, wide netting it. I think I saw on Yahoo was like 42% of rosters had Jackson Dart, so I guess he's still out there, even though we've been telling you to pick him up. And the main thing is like we talked about on the recap show. Thanks to everyone coming out for that live recap show. That he passed the test. Yeah, he can play, and he's going to get receivers back. And then we get to Joe Flacco and Cecil. I really wrestled with this because why can't Joe Flacco be a quarterback one for the rest of the season? Right? Or when Joe Burrow comes back, yeah, he's coming back. He's probably not coming back. Why not? Why not? Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Flacco looks ready for this. And, this week against the Jets, we'll see. Jets defense has been better, but I think we might see that Cleveland playoff run revisited, except Joe Flacco can get you to the fantasy playoffs because it's his team now.
Yeah, it is his team now, and they're moving forward. J.J. McCarthy, is it his team?
Yeah, it's Max Brosmer's team.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to talk about J.J., Andy Dalton, Marcus Mariota, Tyler Shook, Tyrod Taylor. Quite a collection here at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this is just housekeeping. Remember, this stuff are apps and waiver wire pickups application recommendations go off of some of this stuff. So with JJ McCarthy, I mean, he's in this week's waiver wire pickups because the way Carson Wentz played, and now Carson Wentz apparently is banged up again. Max Brosmer apparently is 6 teams on bye this week. Did I mention that? 6 teams on bye. So you might be picking up players off the waiver wire and starting them. Certainly in a 2-quarterback superflex league, you might need to pick up. Now we're waiting to see if it's Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. Hopefully it's Taylor, because if not, it'll be Taylor by the end of the game anyway, right? It voted Cincinnati, but still. Marcus Mariota, we'll see if he starts. He should start. I mean, you don't want to put Jay Daniels back out there a week after a hamstring injury. Tyler Shook, it's Spencer Rattler's job today and this week. But if he has another 4 turnover game or otherwise they struggle against Tampa in 2 quarterback superflex leagues, it's time to pick him up. And then again, like on McCarthy, the idea here is, and I'm not even saying I buy it, but it's Kevin O'Connell. You look at the players he has around him: Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison getting open at will last week, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones is going to be back soon. If this time allowed things to gel for McCarthy mentally, and then Kevin O'Connell says he's working on the foundation from the foundation up, right? Then we've seen over the years that pretty much whoever you plug into this offense can create fantasy value. Why not JJ McCarthy? Well, why not? Because he only did it for like 1 quarter out of 8. But again, as a preemptive pickup, depending on what's going on with your quarterback play, I guess we're just saying be on the lookout for McCarthy. Not this weekend, Max Brosmer. Talking about Max Brosmer. Wow. I did not have that one on my bingo card, Cease. But maybe you have picking up JJ McCarthy as a long bench league on yours.
Yeah, long bench league. Our guy Carl is lighting a prayer candle for Lamar to return. They opened up practice yesterday, and Lamar was not out there.
Yeah, I didn't say Cooper Rush because don't. Just take a 0.
Yeah, just punt. That's absolutely what you do. We're punting on quarterback, and we're going to the running back position now. And Kyle Monaghan, we've been waiting, and we saw something, and it was good, like we thought. Well, we might have to wait a little bit more. I guess Isaiah Pacheco's not done. I guess Rashard Smith roller coaster is back.
Right.
12 to 25%, 10 to 20% for both those two. So let's take care of those 3 before we get to the well, I guess the only other running back on the list.
Right. And I didn't talk much about Andy Dalton. A tough matchup against Buffalo. Is it tough? I don't know. Coming off the bye, Andy Dalton might be one of the best 1 week pickups. Although Marcus Mariota against Kansas City would be a good one too. Kyle Monangai. We saw Ben Johnson as part of an offense that had Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and the offense was good enough that both of them had fantasy value every week. Last week, that's what we saw for Chicago. Now, it was against the Saints, but I think this is the template. This is the blueprint. This week against Baltimore, if it's Lamar Jackson, they probably can't stick to that blueprint. But if it isn't Lamar Jackson, they probably can. So with Kyle Monangai, you have a guy that in the right matchup is at least a flex play. But also remember, DeAndre Swift has spent a lot of time on the injury report this year. And last week was the first week that I think you plug Monangai in as the starting running back, and we're ranking him in the top 10 or top 12, because it sure looks to me like when the Bears went into the bye, they emphasized the running game. They didn't emphasize Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams' fantasy value is falling off a cliff right now and also his receivers, because this is going to be a defense and run-based team, and then you build up from there. And Monangai is a big part of that. You have Isaiah Pacheco, still leading the team with 60, 70% of the snaps, actually got a touchdown last week, still not that efficient as a runner. But I think it was Diana Rossini, one of those insiders, said Kansas City's not really in the market for running back. So Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, those prayer candles. Carl, what's up? So Pacheco, if he has, 50-50 shot at a touchdown every week and is going to lead the team in carries, as we go through the bye week gauntlet, especially, that's worth something. And because this Kansas City's offense is the way it is, he could have a few multi-touchdown weeks. He could have some weeks where maybe the defense is just so weary in the second half. Speaking of that, that's when we saw a lot of Brashard Smith. And I get it. And I'm sorry. I did see some people, I should have listened to him. Like, really? Brashard Smith to shut him down? Well, he only had 6 snaps in back-to-back weeks after building up his snap count early in the season. That sure looked to me like the team was saying, well, let's just kind of ease him in. He's not ready for more. And then last week, you saw him come in for garbage time. And Kareem Hunt got a little banged up. The other thing about Pacheco, by the way, is he's getting more red zone opportunities than Hunt on the reg. So after Hunt got those 2 touchdowns, now it's Pacheco show in the red zone mostly. But with Brashard Smith now, we've got that possibility. The door is opening again for him, and again, just regular pedestrian observers of the NFL can see, like, that guy's fast, that guy's quick. The Chiefs have to see this. Will he be ready for a bigger role in this amazing offense? It's worth a spot on your bench, and this time I'm not going to tell you to drop him, even if his snap count drops to 1.
Well, what about if they get Alvin Kamara? Because now's the time, if you're looking at like Breece Hall with a change zip code, Garrett Wilson, Alvin Kamara, like, okay, yeah, it's for now. But again, windows might be a different window if this trade deadline on November 4th, by the way. So we're, 2 weeks? Math. Damn it. It's too early for math. Yeah. But yeah, in 2 weeks, you might have a whole new window.
Yeah, it was my understanding there would be no math. Oh, it's the Waiver Wire show. There's always math.
There's always math, and there's always Bam Knight out there. Is that the only running back left? Seriously?
Yeah, well, okay. So
what would we think about like Isaiah Davis or something?
Well, see, that's sure.
Trade, something like that.
Well, Devin
Neal's getting a chance now.
You're right. Oh, Kendra Miller goes down with ACL, so Devin Neal's now the guy. And there's some talk down here in New Orleans that they like Devin Neal, that they are okay.
He's one of my favorite backs. Reminded me of Joe Mixon.
Right.
Like I can't wait for his opportunity.
They're ready to trust him. So here's and we'll talk about Bam Knight really quick, because the complicating factor for him is he has a bye. So you're carrying him through a bye. He's just a flex play, but he did move even more decisively ahead of Michael Carter. And I think that if there's Arizona running back worth carrying through the bye, still no defined terms yet on when Trey Benson's going to come back either. So Bam Knight's value window of being a flex play is going to potentially extend into November, but it's not that compelling. And the other thing is, so Cecil, you bring up a good point, and this is like bonus. This is why you come to, you can subscribe to Football Guys. You can get my waiver wire up, down every week. But when you listen to this show or you watch this show, we give you extra stuff. And one of the things I've been toying with once we get past the bye week gauntlet, is some sort of backup running back rating. It's like, I've got one spot on my bench. Which backup running back? Longtime waiver wire listeners know that at some point around like week 10, week 11, we start putting all of the running backs, all of the backup running backs, to give you some guidance.
Right.
But here's what I'm going to say. And you mentioned Isaiah Davis. That one, that one's like, hey, even if he becomes the starter for the Jets, what's that worth, really? I mean, what has it even been worth with Breece Hall, who we know is a stellar talent? I'm not as interested in him. Here's what I'm looking at, okay? If you have extra roster spots, you are looking at backup running backs with teams that have good offenses and also like to run the ball. Here we go. Ray Davis, Blake Corum on a bye. So Ray Davis is coming off of a bye. Blake Corum's going into a bye. Amir Abdullah, maybe. It seems like he's ahead of DJ Giddens now. So again, we're looking at offenses, right? Probably Justice Hill. Okay. Probably Will Shipley. AJ Dillon seemed to get demoted last week, or Tank Bigsby. So again, be looking at these running backs, maybe not Jaden Blue because he hasn't really shown much, but we're looking down. What are the best offenses in the league? Who are the backup running backs? Now that San Francisco has gone ball control, I'm more interested in Brian Robinson. So I would say if you have an extra roster spot somehow with 6 teams on bye, look at the backup running backs in good offenses.
We got Emmanuel Wilson. Chat room was talking about.
Emmanuel Wilson.
I'll
absolutely.
bring up Terrell Jennings.
Maybe.
Because it ain't going to be Travion Henderson. My God. What?
And that's one of those really sad situations. The one glimmer of hope I can give, because we're going to get to shut him down and hold on, and Travion Henderson's an interesting player, maybe, is that Omarion Hampton, for the first 2 point whatever games, also did not look like a player that deserved a larger role. And then once Najee Harris went down and he knew that he was the starting running back, something clicked for him.
It changes his math.
So could that happen with Travion Henderson? I don't know. But I do know that Ramondre Stevenson, everything is better for this offense when Ramondre Stevenson is in, and that's not going to change.
Everything is better when we're in our boxes talking to y'all right here on the Audible. 20 years of the Audible this season, and we appreciate all y'all, whether it's your first year, your 20th year, what have you. Thanks for going through the rough times. In our very first show, I said, welcome back, because I'm a moron.
But it was from your past life, Cease.
That's right. Haven't we done this before?
Yeah.
The 5 dimensions, left, right, back and forth, up and down, time, right? There's the 4th dimension.
Coming to you live from the Tesseract.
That's right. Wide receivers coming at you live. And my God, what a thin waiver wire when we're talking about Alec Pierce, who's been gone forever in my leagues, but whatever. Wide net it. 15 to 30% for Pierce. Xavier Legette, again, wide net it, 12 to 25%. Got some more down the roster guys, but let's get those 2 out the way.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and add Tez Johnson to this group after Mike Evans went down, man.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm like Jordan Hudson. I don't want to talk about it. We're not talking about it.
The thing that really sucks about the Mike Evans injury, I mean, hopefully he does come back at the end of the year, is that it sounds like this is his last season. Like all the indications.
But he's not getting 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, hopefully the Tampa can make the playoffs and he can come back for the playoffs and give us something to remember. Let's start with Alec Pierce. And again, not above that 60% threshold in Yahoo leagues. I feel like he's just been overlooked, Cease. This is one of the best offenses in the league. He's a starting wide receiver. He's the primary deep threat in this offense. And he's just been an afterthought. Now, last week, because the target tree got narrowed, we had Anthony Gould out there. So it got narrowed to Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren, and Alec Pierce, and they were all 3 good plays. Pierce had 5 for 98, had 10 targets. That might not happen every week, but because he's the primary deep threat in a great offense, in any given week, he can be a good wide receiver 3 flex. I think he's going to probably be a lot of lineups this week against Tennessee. Xavier Legette. You like seeing this for Legette because he's a good dude. I like the dude Leggett that we've seen. There's a great thing out there about how he doesn't like to go out on the water, but he did as like a team building thing. And then when he saw the actual little boat they were going to get in, and it's a great story. It's a great story. He's a genuine dude. And what was really good about him breaking out, and again, this is only like the 843rd time in our 20 year seats that I've been fixated on a player, and it was the right situation, different player. I love Jalen Coker, but it was Xavier Leggett as the Z receiver in this offense. And what's important about Leggett's performance last week is that he did it with Bryce Young. He scored with Bryce Young, but then when Andy Dalton came in and Andy Dalton needed to make some completions to ice the game, he went to Leggett, and Leggett converted. So he has chemistry with both quarterbacks. So, it's not as good of an offense. It's not going to be as consistent as Indy. That's why he's a notch below. And then Tez Johnson, who I'd probably put on the same level as Leggett as a 12 to 25% pickup as the number 3 receiver now. Don't know when Jalen McMillan's going to be back. You see Tez, and I don't know about you, but when I saw that he fell to Tampa in the 7th round, I was like, that's the perfect team for him. That's the perfect team for him because he might be 150 pounds dripping wet and all that stuff. But when you have Godwin and Ibuka, and we'll see when Godwin's going to come back, and you have now not Mike Evans, but you have players that can spread out the field and occupy the larger, more physical corners, Tez Johnson can get free. And Tampa, Josh Grisard might make it 3 in a row. He really might. 3 offensive coordinators for Tampa becoming head coaches the next year. Thank you. See, what's the opposite of a coach killer? Baker Mayfield. A coach maker. Baker, the coach maker. Baker, the head coach maker. See, there. We just minted his nickname because Tez Johnson's always moving around with the snap. You can't get a clean jam on him. So when Tez Johnson is moving at the snap, good luck covering him. Good luck covering him when you're having to worry about him, and wait when Bucky Irving gets back and they have a real running game again. So I'm pretty excited about Tez Johnson. Maybe I'm talking myself into Tez Johnson should be the highest guy here, but now maybe you can get the drop on everyone else who's still catching up to that bad yuck injury for Mike Evans last night.
3 receivers to talk about: Dyke, Mims, and Franklin.
Yeah, and Mims and Franklin are 1 week guys, but it's Dallas. They could win your week for you. Remember what Marvin Mims did last year?
They have to win in a shootout.
Yeah, they have to. And what did Marvin Mims do in a shootout with Cincinnati last year? Like 2 touchdowns over 100 yards. So Mims and Franklin both have high ceiling this week and maybe create some momentum as Bo Nix is harnessing his inner Jackson dart. I'm going to add, by the way, Sterling Shepard to this more lower tier list. He has more value in PPR leagues. Again, Baker Mayfield, Detroit without any of their starting secondary held down Baker Mayfield. But let's talk about Keemre DK, Tennessee Titans. And we did see, again, we talked about this in the recap show, Brian Callahan's gone. What changes? What changes is DK is now not just a gadget player. He's running downfield routes. And it looked easy. The long touchdown from Ward to DK looked easy for them. Hopefully, Mike McCoy, Uncle Mike, says, yeah, here's your Werthers. Let's bring that one back, Cecil.
Yeah.
Do it again next week. Maybe you'll get a blow pop, maybe a Tootsie Roll pop even. So DK is a really interesting guy, and we've been waiting for Cam Ward to show some signs of improvement. 25 for 34 last week. That was pretty good. 13 points, 3 scoring drives in the first half. That was pretty good. Then it kind of fell apart. Just keep building. DK may be a big part of that story as the deep threat for this team.
What was it, Jerry Maguire? You had me at hello.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to wake up, Bloom. You had me at blow pop. Let's talk tight ends. Not a euphemism.
No,
not English either.
My problem is I couldn't, just like the Tootsie Roll pop. I mean, just crunching up all the grape or watermelon or whatever and the gum all together, like crunching.
No teeth. Sorry, Joe. Ronnie Gadsden is who we're going to talk about. He's your Tootsie Pop, blow pop, everything for Ronnie Gadsden, who I loved at the Shrine Bowl. I think it was the Shrine, my memory. But yeah, I mean, he's a freak. And on this show, another Sorry Joe, we're a fan of freaks. So yeah, Gadsden, let's talk about it, Bloom.
I just said blow pop. I just said bit of honey or something. Look what I've done.
That's what had me distracted. Yeah, you did this to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's only weird if you make it weird, right, Dr. Gene? Ronnie Gadsden, and this was a game script created blow up. But come on, Cease, how many tight ends have we talked about over the 20 years of this show that posted 164 yards in a game? Now, how many rookie tight ends have we talked about that have posted 164 yards in a game? Period.
It's only happened 4 times in the NFL history, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So you take notice. And Aronde Gadsden in games, and we're going to see against Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota is going to, Max Brosmer, whoever it is, a banged up quarterback, it's probably not going to be a shootout. You're probably not going to see Justin Herbert throw for over 400 yards. So, but you can't, I mean, even if Gadsden is inconsistent, you have now a ceiling that can be a week winning or even a league winning ceiling. Remember, if someone goes down, Keenan Allen misses games every year of his career, basically. I mean, almost. Sorry, I'm oversimplifying. Quentin Johnson's already missed a game. Lad McConkey. Why was Lad McConkey not a first rounder? Because of his durability history, I think. So any of those things open the door for Gadsden to have a dedicated role, but the chemistry he has with Justin Herbert might make it so even if he's only on the field for 40 or 50% of the snaps, he still gets, it's a low bar at tight end. So I have him at 20 to 40%, but I understand in leagues, if you need a tight end, maybe you go higher than 50%. And we're not sure, this is kind of a mystery box, but we know that it's very rare for any tight end, especially a rookie tight end, to post the numbers he did last week.
Yes, it is fantastic. Theo Johnson, 7 to 15%, and then 3 to 5%ers. Noah Fant, Juwan Johnson, Colston Loveland, 1%er, Pat Fryermuth, Gunnar Helm here. Well.
And let's add from last night, Kate Otten, because now with Mike Evans out, there's a chance for that window.
I said I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, but Kate Otten, you like seeing this from him. He's a 7 to 15%er. Theo Johnson getting the 40+ yard touchdown against Denver. Let's play the tight ends against Denver. Sometimes it's still true. You also have Jackson Dart. Now Jackson Dart is playing. We're waiting to hear about his ankle this week, by the way. Noah Fant. What's nice about Noah Fant is, number one, Joe Flacco. Never seen a throw he doesn't want to try. Number two, with Chase and Higgins, now, I mean, we saw Chase Brown have a 100-yard game last week on 11 carries, because now that's what defenses are going to be focused on. Fant got 4 targets, 4 catches, 44 yards, not 4 touchdowns, just 1. But you get the point. He's viable. Juwan Johnson, also viable, 5 for 79. If the Saints have to throw more, as they did against the Bears, falling down 20-0, now you've got something there, maybe this week against Tampa Bay. And other one-week plugins, Fryermuth, 5 for 111 and 2 touchdowns. After he had more fantasy points in week 7 than he had the whole year up to week 7. All 3 Steelers tight ends scoring touchdowns last week. No, Mason Taylor is not a pickup because it's the Jets. But Fryermuth, we'll see. Certainly the chemistry is there with Aaron Rodgers as a downfield target. Colston Loveland, we're going to see if Cole Kmet's back is a problem. Is he going to be able to play this week? If not, Colston Loveland could get some more opportunity against Baltimore. Again, the variable of Lamar Jackson. So there's 2 layers to this. If Kmet is out and Lamar Jackson's in, you like Colston Loveland as a 1 week. Remember, Sam Laporta is out this week. All right. Trey McBride is out this week. So you might be filling in for one of those guys. Loveland could be that guy, but also Loveland has the opportunity to get his foot in the door and say, I should be a big part of this pass offense, of this offense going forward, this opportunity created by this injury. But on the other hand, we saw Luther Burden do that, and he's still just playing 28% of the snaps. Gunnar Helm, the rookie movement in Tennessee, he was moving ahead of Chigo Okonkwo in the target tree. And, the world keeps turning. It's fantasy football. Let's get back on the horse, cease, and tend to some house cleaning.
Yes, house cleaning indeed, including one compact Broncos running back, because it's after week 6. And I already asked Sean Payton if he trusts him, and he said yes, and then he goes out there and messes up. And Sean Payton's talking about guys getting their opportunities taken away. Guess who that is? So it's week 8. God, what day is it? It's week 8, and you need some help. And in order to get that help, you need to clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. We could do a whole podcast on feng shui. We could do a whole podcast on how organization is equal with your spirituality. We could get real crunchy on this show, maybe with a couple of beaties or 2. And well, we'll have to wait to do that. But in replacement of that, for now, we can do this. And you can help us. So wherever you're at, office, walking at the park, wherever, it is time to jump in with our audience participation. So say it with me and scream it to the heavens, because it is time to cue the Chuck D. Sigmund, week 8 shut 'em downs.
Yeah, I think that Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Fields, we're not waiting anymore. Bryce Young, is probably going to miss at least a week, and the upside there, maybe we'll come back to him later this season. Carson Wentz, that window is starting to close for him. Michael Penix, he threw the ball 38 times, and I hate to see this because I was excited about Penix this year, but I think that Atlanta's offense is going to try to insulate Penix from having an influence on the game. Kendry Miller, we're dropping because of the ACL. Michael Carter, you're not carrying through the bye. I think Travion Henderson is shut him down. I mean, even if there is a Ramondre Stevenson, you brought it up kind of jokingly, but maybe not, bringing up Terrell Jennings. Like, even if Ramondre Stevenson got hurt or he fumbled 4 times in a game, I don't know if Henderson gets the big opportunity after that. I don't know if he can do anything with it. So, if you're saying I can pick up Kyle Monangai, but I have to drop Henderson, I can pick up Gadsden, but I have to drop it. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Similarly, I think that, if you need, and Kenneth Gainwell, who becomes more of a second back now, looks like Jalen Warren is taking control of that backfield again. Would I rather have Monangai or Gainwell? Would I have Gadsden or Gainwell? Even Joe Flacco if I needed a quarterback. If it for Dart and Gadsden, I might drop Chuba Hubbard, knowing that Rico Dowdle is going to hold down the more valuable part of this backfield. I might even drop Caleb Williams. I might drop Xavier Worthy. This is the everybody eats offense just for Gadsden and Dart. Okay. But going further down, Kendrick Bourne, that window is closing. San Francisco is becoming a ball control team. Jalen Coker, we may come back to him. Luther Burden, again, you thought maybe he earned more with his explosive plays. This is a running team, and his role's not really growing. Jordan Whittington, terrible. Sean McVay been watching Arthur Smith and saying, I like the cut of your jib. 3 tight ends. I'm going to mess around with that. And Jordan Whittington's not going to get very many targets. Darren Waller with the pec injury. Again, Chigo Okonkwo, I hope a good team picks him up next year, Cease. I hope we get to see him get an opportunity somewhere other than Tennessee because it's Gunnar Helm's opportunity. But, also part of that organization. By the way, Feng Shui, you mentioned it, Cease. Don't leave your shoes in the doorway. Don't leave your shoes right like when you get home and you kick off your shoes. Put them away, because that's how good luck gets into your house, and shoes block that good luck.
All right, we got all the advice for you. Hold on, Bloom, and not to RJ Harvey.
Yeah, Fish said, whatever you do, take care of your shoes, and hold on to your shoes. A few players to hold on to. I mean, I don't know. Again, like the hold ons are more like some of the players that you might consider dropping if a good enough waiver wire pickup is out there, like Jalen Waddle. Hold on to him even though he's hurt. Hold on to Marvin Harrison Jr. and hope that he can get something with Kyler Murray. I think that, again, we're to that part of the season, Cease. We usually say it around week 13, but here we are in week 8, where it is a what have you done for me lately league. Fantasy football in the windows that Cecil's been telling us about for years means you should be thinking about what players have done for you lately or what they could do for you. And it actually is making it easier to be decisive and have all important clarity.
Yes, clarity is very important, and it's important that you help us out here on YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid. It is the Audible. Thanks for watching here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to footballguys.com. We want to leave us a tip. That's the way you do it. And check out footballguys.com free daily newsletter. He is Sigmund Bloom. I am Cecil Lammey. We are the Audible. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. And would you please stay frosty?